Hey, it's me, Lee. So, sorry, just finished eating a pudding, um, like a cheesecake pudding and that. Um, so I have to explain something that I feel is important, and um, because I have a friend, um, who lost his dad, and his mom, just recently his mom. So he's going through a really hard time right now with both of his losses. He lost both of his parents, you know? And I feel bad for him. I really do. And I want to show my support, but I'm just afraid to do that. I'm scared to even talk to him because I was friends with another guy at one point that I put all my heart and soul out into, you know? I bought him everything. His name is Stephen Cunliffe. I bought him everything, even gifts for Christmas and Tim Hortons cards and a lot of that stuff like that. So, yeah, I known him for many years. We used to do everything together. I thought of him as like my second sibling, you know? And yeah. So anyway, and all of a sudden, you know, he started screaming at me on the phone. So I get concerned and ask his mom if maybe she said something um that wasn't very nice. Cause you know, it's sometimes the parents do say things that they don't mean to their children, and so you know, parents and children can do fight, and sometimes things are said that shouldn't be said, and you know, family stuff, and yeah, um, it doesn't matter whether you're the kid or the parent. Everybody has said something to either their children or children to their mothers that they later regret at any age. And someone happens to call when you're in a bad mood, sometimes you do scream at them and yell because they're not happy. They're not in a right state of mind at the time. So I honestly thought that that's what it was, you know. So decided to give mom a call and I asked her, you know, if she said anything like that because I thought her and Steven had a fight, right? Or had a little disagreement that escalated into like anger and that. She said no, he just wants to be more independent and staying off his phone and staying off the phone, and so his friends keep calling him and he's getting fed up of telling them, which I understand that, right? So when I went back to my parents' house, because I was at my grandma's when that happened. I was at my grandparents' house when that happened in Barrie. So when I went home to my parents' house in Wasaga Beach at the time, where I was living there with my parents at the time, um, I decided to set my alarm because his mom said that he'd be free at 1 o'clock. So sometimes, you know, I set my alarm and sometimes, you know, I didn't even call him I didn't even call him on a weekly basis. I just set my alarm up for like Thursdays at like 1 o'clock, and I would call him just after 1 o'clock, just after. And then he wouldn't even pick up. They would say that he was out. Well, then I got really concerned, and then I stopped calling, you know? You know? And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, he calls me back and says that I said stuff, and I can't remember exactly what he said. I think he said that I mentioned that his mom is abusive to him. And I kind of was, I guess now looking back, I kind of looked like I said that, I guess. But I didn't already say, to his mother, I think you're hurting him. I think you're very nasty to him. I think you're being a bully to him. Because that's not the way I thought of her at all. I thought that maybe she had said something that she regretted, and that. Like, there's lots of people that have parents that get into fights with their children, and either the kid or the mom have said something that you think, crap, why the frig did I say that? And then there's some cases where, depending on what was said, they forget. And I have said things too in the past that, I don't remember saying, Not only to mention it was so long ago, but I guess in her mind it did kind of come out like that. And I guess maybe she told him that, I don't know, whatever, but I accused her of being abusive. So he called me back, and he's just like, our friendship is not going to work out. I'm like, okay, why not? I wasn't shocked because I knew it was coming, but I wasn't gonna, like, say, okay, why not? Because, people always have a reason for not being friends with somebody or for breaking off a friendship, but it's what he said. It hurt. It wasn't the fact that he didn't want to be friends with me, because I kind of got that feeling after his mom said that he was just trying to be busy. So when he didn't answer the phone when I called, I knew that okay, maybe our friendship is coming to an end. And you know what? That's okay. People go their own separate ways, and that's okay. I don't care about that. I mean, like, but it's what he said, that
Okay. Downstairs.
it hurt me because he had said stuff that I don't recall saying, like the point with that his mother was abusive. That's not what I meant. I didn't outright say, to her that I think you're being abusive to him. I didn't outrightly say that. But it's just the way you said it. And he said that I sent him a friend request, and that he deleted it, and I think he said that I did something bad. Like I hacked into his Facebook or something. Well, that wasn't true at all, you know? I think he said that I said something on Facebook that wasn't very nice or something. And something like that, I don't know. But yeah, it was enough to hurt me anyway, you know? But what got me, what I clearly remember, is a friend request and the point that his mom said he was abusive. Said that she was abusive to him. Which isn't true at all. He said that I said, posted on Facebook, that his mom is being abusive to him. So, of course, I've said things in the past on Facebook that I will admit, I swear in my mother's grave, and I swear to God that I have posted things on Facebook that maybe aren't appropriate, that, I said things that I shouldn't have. So, that's my first deadly sin, and I still have several more that deadly sins, more than 7. And so anyway, yeah, I will admit I haven't been the nicest friend in the past, but I haven't been the worst friend ever, because I bought him lunch, and I bought him everything. We went to the hockey game together, and I bought him a beer, even though his support worker said that I couldn't have any, right? I still bought him one because I was gonna have one, and I didn't want to drink it alone, right? Because the number one tool of becoming an alcoholic is drinking by yourself. Well, that's a big no-no. That's a big no-no. So I told him that I didn't want to drink by myself, and it took him a while, but I eventually did convince him that I'll buy him a beer. Not. But I did buy him a lot of different things. I bought him a lot of stuff. In fact, before he moved to Barrie, I had bought him lunch when he used to live in Midland. I used to go with him to the Tim Hortons, and I used to buy lunch there. Yeah, it was pretty... It was... I liked doing that. And I liked the fact that I used to... Because I would do that all over again if I could. But... yeah. Anyways, so when he decided that he just didn't want to be my friend anymore, and he made up all these things that I don't recall saying, I went back on the Facebook group that I posted in, and I scrolled on it, and then I scrolled on it because I thought, you know what, maybe he was right. Maybe I did say something. And then I forgot about it. And then, because I have said stuff that I forgot I said, because I tried to block it out of my memory. Because that's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. So I just forget about it. But not realizing that everybody else can see it. And so I went back over, and I scrolled down, and I never saw anything with saying that his mother is abusive to him. I do remember one of my things in my post saying that he's just very busy, and and that he's trying to keep more busier, and that's why he hasn't talked to his friends in a while. So I said, I'm happy, you know. I said I'm very happy for him, you know. But so once I read that, and there was no indication, nothing that says on my post, the last one, before he said that, I got pretty angry. Like I got like I felt betrayed in that. I felt betrayed. I felt like I was blindsided, you know? I felt like I was being deceived, you know? So everything that I did, I put my heart and soul out. And mostly at the time, I bought him stuff because he couldn't afford much. And I enjoyed buying him stuff because I knew that he didn't really have any money, right? His parents didn't have a lot of money. So they just did the best they could, but they didn't have a lot of money, you know? And I felt bad, so I continued to buy stuff for him. But I guess, and after, when he ended my friendship with me, abruptly, the way he did, you know, I put an angry message on Facebook with an angry emoji on it, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this, man. Like, you know, after everything I did for you, like, I posted it to everybody on Instagram, like, I literally had to vent my feelings, like, to everybody, to the public. And I'm like, you know what? After everything I did for you, like, bought you donuts, bought you gifts for your birthdays, we even hung out together, watched a hockey game, you know? And because I was hearing a lot of people that were dying from the virus, like, he ended my friendship right when the virus was coming out. That was a few years ago. Right? So people in Canada were dying, children were dying, children's parents were dying, children's grandparents were dying. And I said that, you know, I don't need somebody like that in my life who's gonna treat me that way, and I felt betrayed. I felt hurt, you know? So I just said, you know what? Yeah, we are done. We are done. Like, sorry, my alarm. So I said on the Instagram post, I said, you know what? You are damn right, Steven. We are done. Like, we're not friends anymore. And so I have another friend. His name is Joe, and he doesn't have that much money either. I met him at bowling, Special Olympics bowling. He is a really nice guy, you know? And his mom and dad passed away, like I said. And, you know, even though he cares about me and I care about him, I'm afraid to even talk to him. I just don't want to. Not only do I associate him with my other friend, but I'm just afraid of being betrayed again. I don't want, you know, I'm afraid of putting my heart, my soul for him, and he needs it. He needs it more than anybody, you know? He needs it. And he deserves it too, you know? So, because of the way that, and what Steven has said, to me, it made me feel so hurt that I can't even trust one of my guy friends that I have still, It makes me not want to even trust a lady friend. But yeah, I am still friends with them, but it's like it's harder to have a conversation with them, a friendly conversation, without feeling hurt and betrayed, without feeling like you want to say something say something inappropriate that you really don't want to say, because you really don't want to hurt the friends you have. But at the same time, it's like you don't have the heart to even tell them how you're really feeling in that moment. And it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Like, it really does bother me because, it's not their fault, and I guess I don't want to make it seem like it's their fault. That I just don't want to be friends with them because of somebody else. It's like, no, that's not true at all. I am still friends with them people. From Special Olympics Bowling, Carrie and Joe and his brother Freeman. Like, I'm still friends with them 3 people. So that's never gonna change. But I find it harder to talk to him because of what happened with me and Steven, because of the last conversation we had on the phone and that. And I just can't talk. Even though I want to talk to my friends on the phone, I just can't. I have to hang up on them eventually because of the betrayal my other friend did to me. So it hurts. It really does. When one friend decides that, he or she doesn't want to be friends with you anymore, and they make you out to be an idiot, then it hurts. But one person can make someone else afraid to be betrayed by their other friends. One person can cause real damage to somebody's self-esteem, hanging out with their other friends. So, like they say, one person can change the world in a positive way. One person can betray the world too. So, it only takes one person to hurt another person to the point where they can't even trust their other friends. They don't even want to show empathy for them because they still do, but. And I still want to show empathy to Joe. I still do, but I feel horrible. And I don't really want to have him feel hurt. And I really do feel bad that he lost two people in his life, his parents. You know, I couldn't imagine losing my parents. I really couldn't. And, so, even though I say I'm sorry to hear that, after I say that, I still feel that betrayal. I still feel like that anger inside. Like, I still feel like that betrayal and anger because I've done the same thing to Steven too in the past. So, saying I'm sorry to Joe, it makes me really angry. But I also know that it's the right thing to do because that's what friends do. Friends have empathy for another person. Friends have empathy for each other. You know? Friends aren't supposed to tell you that, phone and tell you that, oh, their mom died, and it's like, oh, okay then. Where's your funeral? like, come on. Friends aren't supposed to do that. Right? So I just say I'm sorry to hear that anyway. I just told them that I was sorry to hear that, and, because right now he's very upset, and hearing him upset made me upset. It made me feel bad on the inside. Because he needed a shoulder to cry on, and I wasn't there because I'm living in North Bay. And I felt like, what kind of a freaking friend am I? I'm in North Bay and he's down there in Barrie crying his ass off. And I'm up here in North Bay and I'm enjoying myself with my parents. Like my mom's living in Aurelia and I'm living with my grandparents with my dad. Living with my dad and we're staying at my grandparents until we can find a house. And it's like, sometimes when he calls me, it's like, oh. And when I got off the phone, it's like, what kind of fucking person am I? Am I? I just feel horrible now, But at the same time, it's like, when I'm on the phone, is that I feel that betrayal. I feel that hurt. So, I have a mixed emotions at the time when I'm talking to Joe on the phone. But I know that he wouldn't do anything like that to me. I know he wouldn't. I have it in my heart that he would never, ever, ever do anything like that. So, yeah. Cause, like I said, I go all out for a friend. I would do anything for a friend. And it's a shame that I thought of Steven like my brother. And talking about it now makes me hurt, makes me feel sad. It makes me feel like I just want to sit down with him and ask, like, what the fuck were you thinking? I just want to sit down and ask him, like, what the heck were you thinking? Like, I have done all of these things for you. Like, I pretty much have to get out my bank account for you, and this is how you treat me in the end? Like, what are you thinking? And I just really want to grab him and shake him and be like, and be like, you know what, you have hurt me. I can't even trust my other friends now because of you. Can't even talk to my other friends on the phone because of you. Or one of them anyway. So, yeah. I think you need to fucking explain yourself first. Because I'm like very, very, very angry still. Whenever I talk about the good things with him, it feels like it was all mask. It was all fake. Even though at the time I felt like everything we had was real. It wasn't now when you think about it. It feels like to me that I thought of him as a friend, but did he really think of me as a friend? Now when you think about it? After all these years, she could have just said that. If I were to break up with a friend, I would say, I would point out the good things about them. And that I would never say anything like in the light that he did. Like, I would never say anything like he did. I don't recall everything that he said because I kind of blocked it out of my memory. But I know it was something that... I know it was some things that are true, but some things I did have to question myself on. Because... And that's when I look back on Facebook and I said nothing of kind that he said. I said nothing on there. I didn't see anything about me saying that his mom was being abusive or anything. I just said that I was excited to see him again. But wasn't really that big of a deal. Like, I never said his mom was abusive, and if I did, I would have probably deleted that post. Like, So, yeah, it was horrible, right? Because even my parents had to question it. It was like, no, I have said some stuff before in the past, but usually if I had said some stuff and I've forgotten, I would remember if I had said that. Right? Like, if I said that his mom was being abusive and I posted that, even when I've forgotten, if that would have ever came up, I would have remembered that I said that. And I never did. So which means that I couldn't have posted that. I couldn't have posted anything like that if I didn't remember. Because usually something in my post that I know I have said, usually something does trigger that and it's like, oh yeah, I have said that. And it wasn't very nice. Sometimes I have said things that are nice and I forget about it. Forget what I said. It may not even be horrible, But I do not recall ever saying the things that he said. So, yeah, that was the last phone call. And I guess being on the phone with my other friend who really needs a shoulder to cry on and will never betray me in any way, I hope. Because of the last conversation with my phone, I associate, a guy's voice on the phone with like betrayal and hurt, So, but Joe would never do that to me. But it's just, that feeling. But I know logically he would never do that. Okay, he would never hurt me in any way. Neither would Carrie, neither would his brother. Right? Neither would Carrie Snow or Joe's brother Freeman. They would never, they're not those type of people that would do that. That would betray their friends like that. And if they do, they would have a very good reason to do that. You know, if they did tell somebody that it said that their mother was abusive, you know that they would have to have been abusive. You know? And I said that to Joe not long ago on the phone about his father yelling, and, you know, he didn't really want us to be together, and he even said he knew. So, and I remember at Special Olympics bowling that he admitted that his father was a jerk. So, and he would never agree with you. He would never agree with somebody if it wasn't true. And he would never, you know, say that somebody said that they're being abusive when it wasn't true. So, yeah. But some people say things just to end the friendship quicker. You know? That's what I think. You know, and they make the people feel bad. And it makes it bad for their other friends, because then they associate a phone call and that with their other friends as not nice because of what happened to the last one. So yeah, it's pretty sad, isn't it? It's pretty sad that we all say that again. You know, it's very, very, very sad. And I never wish that on anybody. I never wish that feeling on anybody ever, ever, ever. You know? I never wish for anybody to feel that way. But if you are feeling that way, if that happened, don't be afraid to speak out. Don't be afraid to do a video of it and to say things, you know, because if you don't get your voice heard, people won't empathize with you. People won't hear what you have to say. And then people can comment back and saying, yes, I have had that problem. Or no, I don't know what that feels like. I hope I never do. I'm sorry you went through that kind of thing, you know? So, yeah, you get a lot of support if you use your voice. So, please, you know, talk about it. Let it out. Let it go, you know? Let it get out of your body in the moment when you think about it. You know? Let it go. Just release it. It's better for you, even if you have to do it on social media, like YouTube and that, and you have to post it. Just let it go. You know? Release your voice. Let it be heard. You know? Even if you can't physically talk, you know, you can talk through your iPad. If you have no voice coming out of your body, you can always just use your iPad or your tablet or whatever, a computer to talk. You know? But don't ever be afraid to post on social media something similar to this, because it's a good way to release that negative emotion. You know? It is very, very, very good, and it does actually help you think logically, you know? And it really, really, really does. I mean, like, I'm happy, I'm proud I did this video. You know? And I'm hoping that others would know exactly how I feel, you know? Because, like I said, I never wish that on anybody. And I know that lots of people have been through that. And I am sorry if you went through that. I am very, very, very sorry. And before that incident, I didn't really know how that would feel, because I never experienced it, but I have heard people say that they have been through that and made me feel bad even then. But now that I experienced it firsthand, it makes me feel even more sad for the people that did have that problem recently or in the past, you know? And I'm very, 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 very sorry if anybody went through that. Because I gotta tell you, it hurt me, and I never asked for that to happen. I didn't know that he would do that. He would say that, you know? And it wasn't a shock because, like I said, I knew that it was coming. I had a feeling. Like, I couldn't even sleep for 2 weeks. But it is what he said that made me feel betrayed and feel horrible, you know? And that's why I don't talk to my other friends for as long. Because, well, my other guy friend anyway, because the other guy friend that I had before hurt me, so I just don't want to be hurt by another guy friend, even though I know he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't betray me like that. But it's just, associating a guy with, like, betrayal, you know? So, yeah, it's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. And if it happened to you, I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I never wish that to happen on anybody, but unfortunately it does, and that's life. But you have to know that just because you have one friend, that doesn't mean that you can't make more. Your trust may be a bit hesitant to make more friends, but doesn't mean that you won't connect with somebody else. You know? You will always find a friend. You know, losing one friend is not the end of the world. You know? I know losing Steven wasn't the end of the world because I know I had a lot of friends and I said that too. I said that on Instagram. You know, I don't need him even though I'm hurt because I have a lot of friends. I have friends. I have more friends than just him, and I can easily make friends again. I can easily make new friends. So it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It really isn't, you know? So just because you were friends with somebody for years and years and years and all of a sudden you feel backstabbed, that doesn't mean that you can't make any more friends. Right? You can always make another friend to replace the one that treated you like shit, you know? So that's what my positive advice is for you. Just because you lost one friend, that doesn't mean that's the end of the world. Heck no, it's not. Life goes on, and there's other people that will accept you and love you for who you are as a person. You know? Just because you had a bad breakout with your friend that you had for years and years and years, and you guys were like siblings, doesn't mean that everybody's gonna be like that. You know? Because most people aren't, and most people would never treat their friends like that. So, yes, it's hard, and it was even hard for me for the first few months, but I knew in my heart that I had other friends. So, losing him wasn't really a big deal, you know? But it did kind of hurt. His betrayal did hurt, and it still does. But I know in my heart that Joe and Carrie and his brother Freeman would never, ever, ever betray their friends like that. Unless it was true. Unless they did do stuff that they didn't like. Then yeah. They would abruptly end their friendship. But they wouldn't just say stuff unless they really did see it, you know? So, yeah. So, yeah, I just thought it was weird, you know? But also know that no matter where I am in the future, I will make another friend. I will make tons more friends. Right? It was one friend's loss. It's like, so what? He doesn't want to be friends with me. That's his loss. It's not my problem. It's his problem. Right? You lose one friend, you can make 5 of them for the price of one that you lost. So, in a way, they're the ones that are missing out, not you. So, Steven is the one that is hurting, not me. Because out of one friend that I lost, I'd still have 2 more, and I can meet 17 more friends if I could, if I wanted to. You know? So, 17 friends that can replace one. Like, it's just amazing how many people accept you even if you lose this one friend. It's amazing how many people would want to be your friend now. You know? And yeah. One person may hate your guts, and it's like, well, a whole other community would come and rally and support you. You know? I've seen that on YouTube videos and that. Yeah. So in a way, losing one friend is not the end of the world. You know? There's always going to be out there for you, or there's always going to be somebody out for you, or multiple people that will accept you into their group. You know? So it's not a big deal. You'll find friends. You'll find more friends, and I know I will as well. So, yeah, just keep our heads up and keep going. Life goes on, and, you know, if your friend doesn't want to be your friend anymore, then kick him to the curb. You don't need a person like that in your life. You know? Just say, okay, goodbye. That's what I did. I said goodbye, and then I hung up the phone. You know? That was it. That was the end. So, I kicked him to the curb pretty quick. You know? Like, goodbye, Steven. And hello, new friends. Hello, my future friends, you know?